It's my honor tonight to welcome Pastor Mrs. Eno Jerry Eze.
Good evening, mommy. Good evening, mommy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, ma.
Village. People are watching us from Lebanon, from Leon, from Ireland, England, from different parts of the world. So it's an honor.
Wow.
A lot of people know Pastor Jerry Eze, and several other people know Pastor Eno. Yeah. But today I have brought her live. Yes, I know you're going to have questions, I know, but I'm the one leading these questions. France, Nigeria. You see them? They're typing, we are there. Oh, Canada. Thank you, everybody.
Wow.
Bless you. Welcome again, Eno. Such an honor to have you.
Thank you, ma. Thank you so much, ma. It's an honor and a privilege. Thank you, ma. I don't take it for granted.
Appreciate. Thank you so much. The honor is mine. So, we'll hit the ground running. Outside of Jerry Eze, outside of church, outside of ministry, outside the author, the Eno, the author, outside Eno, the wife, Eno, the mother, we just wanted to really pull the curtain to the remotest past and tell us tonight, who is Eno? Let's meet you, your background and all that.
Okay, so once again, thank you, ma. Eno, who is Eno? Eno is a young girl that I'm from Cross River State. Actually, a lot of people think I'm from Akwa Ibom, but I'm from Cross River, but I'm married to an Igbo man, and so the language we speak basically is Efik. So I'm Calabar, and I grew up in Nsukka. I grew up in UNN. My parents were lecturers, so I was a campus kid, and I speak Igbo. I'm more conversant with the Igbos because I grew up with them. So I usually think I'm even Igbo, and I'm just I'm still a very young girl at heart, and very naive. As far as, of course, I don't know anything yet. I'm very naive. I'm still very innocent. And if there's anything I know about myself, is that I'm just that girl that loves God and wants to make Jesus proud. I started my Christian work at a very early age, and recently I even told the story in church, to my people in church, and I told them that, when I started, in primary school, I kept coming out to give my life to Christ in primary school. That if you ask me when I gave my life to Christ, I can't tell you, because every Sunday altar call, I will come out, and after I finish giving my life to Christ on Sunday, I will go back and fight, because I could fight. So I'll go back. I grew up with boys. I'm the only girl. So I learned how to fight with my brothers. So I will go to school, I will fight, then I'll come back on Sunday and I will give my life again to Christ. So I kept doing that until one of the days the Sunday school teacher, maybe he saw me coming out again on another Sunday, and he had to say, as he was calling the altar call, saw me coming, he said, please, if you have given your life to Christ, don't come out again. You are already born again. Just don't come out. So that was when I stopped coming out to give my life to Christ. And so I have always loved God from an early age, and I remember having this small book, Bible. I thought I would have that Bible for life, because in the Bible I wrote a letter to God on my Bible as a child, and I told God that please, in life, that when all is said and done, I don't know how long I'm going to live on earth, but that the way, this is how, and this is still who I am. I told God then that there's a journey we are all on, and I usually tell God it's a straight journey. As a child, I say it's a straight road. For any day I want to be on that straight road, any day I am deviating, whatever you need to do to beat me back into line, do it. If you need to beat me, if you need to push me, just make sure I'm on course, and so that I make heaven at the end of the day. So that's who I have always been. I'm just that young girl that has always loved God, and yes, I've made mistakes here and there, but my heart is just for God. I love God. That's who I am.
Oh, amazing. That's so touching. God saw the future and prepared you for that. So tell us about your academics. You know, how you grew up, your parents, are they middle class? I know they're lecturers. Middle class or very rich, or tell us a little more.
Well, I studied English in the university. I went to Abia State University, so I studied English in the university. And when I was done, I knew that was not really what I wanted to do, but I couldn't place my hand on what I wanted. So in search of what I wanted, while I was serving, doing my youth service, I started looking for universities to go to abroad to do a master's. And I found this university, and I decided I wanted to do an MBA. So I went to do an MBA. I did an MBA in entrepreneurial management. While I was doing my MBA in entrepreneurial management, I discovered that what I love to do, I found it as a course, and that was human resources. So while I was doing my MBA, by this time I had gotten married. I got married in 2007. So
okay, we're going to get to that.
So I did my master's in my MBA. Then while I was doing my MBA, I had a flair for human resources, and I started a master's. So while I was still doing my MBA in international human resources, which I now also did, and I worked as a human resource practitioner, manager, different positions in the UK and in Nigeria, and also even opened up my own consulting firm. So that's for me. My parents are lecturers. My parents are professors. They've grown to the rank. My father was a vice chancellor, there in CRUTECH, that is in Calabar, there, CRUTECH, Cross River University Technology. So he was a vice chancellor there, and he's retired now. My mom also, she's still lecturing even up until date. So I think I don't know where to place us, but we did struggle. We're not struggling. I would say we're rich, but we're not. I don't know where we went, but I lived a very comfortable life. I was comfortable. I had drivers, had cooks, had people doing things for me. I don't even think I ever really cooked in my mother's house while growing up. There was always someone to do that, but I used to stay in people's houses, so I did more chores in the homes of other people than I even did in my own house. So I think that's basically my education.
Fantastic. 1 Corinthians 1 tells us from verse 26, but you see your calling, they are brethren.
Yes.
Not many nobles. There are not many, but we still have them. So you are one of them.
Yes.
Thank you. You were going to say something?
Okay, I said I don't know, but I was comfortable.
God is good. Yes, without feeling guilty. It's not your fault. God decided to make you that, and we're glad. We're glad to have that story.
But mommy, I was comfortable, but I was a very independent young girl growing up, and I think that also by the time we continue talking, you see how that actually affected me, because I was comfortable, but my dad wasn't even the kind of person that was that liked to give. If we're going to write a list, like I went to boarding school. I went to Federal Government Girls College, Calabar. So I went to boarding school, and I actually did my JS1 in university secondary school there in Nsukka. I just did JS1, and my father just came one day and said he's taking me out of there, and he's moving me to Calabar, and I was wondering what I was going to go and do there, and it was a boarding school. So that's how he pulled me out. But that was still part of God's plan for me, because you know what, while I was, I told you that I had given my life to Christ, and there were prayers I used to make as a child, and telling God, if there was anything that was going to get me off track, he should put me in line. So at that time, I started having some friends that were the wrong kinds of friends. As children. So by GS1, I already had friends that liked partying, that liked, so they'll do party, and these parties that we go to, they'll switch off the lights and they'll put on blues and you'll be dancing at that age. So I started having friends that were not the right kind of friends that I needed in my life. So by that time, my dad just came one day and told me, you know what, you're going to Federal Calabar. And that was the best decision that he took for me at that time, because what he did was that he disconnected me from the people I did not need in my life. So as soon as I got to Calabar, it's as if my brain was just realigned again, and I found myself again, and I started my journey, well with God. And by the time, whenever I'll come back for holidays, there was no interest. I didn't have the interest anymore to relate with these friends anymore. So even when they'll come to my house and knock, I will hide in my room and tell my siblings to tell them whether I'm not around or something, because I just didn't want to, associate with them again. And that was one of the most beautiful decisions I took, because if you look at my life and their life, you discover that, God just knew the end, and he was just helping me to take, helping me, whether through my parents, to make the right decisions so that I don't get it wrong in destiny.
Wow, amazing. God bless your father. Again and again.
Yes.
So how did you meet Jerry?
Babe, please give me another chance. I promise I won't forget your birthday anymore.
That's what you said last time. You always forget. I need a man who can remember.
So our story now. I am that young girl that I started praying concerning marriage very early. I started praying I know at the age of 15, I was praying concerning marriage at 15. Now, I came from a family, my background, my parents, I came from a family that I saw my parents fight. They fought a lot as we were growing as children. So because they fought, it got me scared, and it got my siblings scared. Usually when my parents are fighting, we'll be crying. But as we kept growing up, we stopped crying, and we're now the ones, mommy, daddy, stop, we now became the ones in between, trying to separate the fight. So because of what I saw, I am, people that go through this type of experience, one or the other thing happens to them is either they want to get it right in marriage, or they are put off completely from marriage. And I think you find more people on that end, you're just put off, you don't want it, or maybe you repeat the same things that you have seen your parents do. So my environment had a lot of role to play in my upbringing, and it really affected me. So I started praying at the age of 15. I started talking to God about marriage and telling God, you know what, I want a peaceful home. I want to marry a man that will give me peace. I want peace. I wanted peace so much. I started praying and fasting that early. And also, let me even do a little bit of a deviation. Now, when I finished secondary school, the natural thing to do for children that grow up on campus is that you go to the university there. Campus kids usually will go to, and this is UNN I'm talking about, that's University of Nigeria and Nsukka. So it was, it's a university that you want to be associated with, and that's what my parents met themselves. So they are both lions and lioness. That's their school. So it was natural that I should go there. My elder brother went there, was already in university. Then I took JAMB, and for some strange reasons, I did not get the cutoff mark for the course I wanted to that first attempt. So the idea would have been, what my parents told me was that, okay, you will stay back and take JAMB again. So they went and they started planning on me doing like a computer, going to a computer school or something just to keep me busy. But I had this friends, as in older friends, but from church, that were also a born again. And this one thing God did for me, God always placed strategic people in my life to help me, make decisions that will take me further in life. So these people, one of them came and met me and told me, you know what, this is a critical time in your life. Why don't you start praying and telling God that he should use your parents, since your parents are the ones that take decisions for you right now, use your parents to take the right decision for you for your now. So I started praying that prayer. I started telling God, God, I don't know what it is right now for me, but please use my father, use my mother. One night, my father comes back and he tells me, you know what, you're going to Abia State University, Uturu. And I looked at him, I said, where is Uturu? Because Uturu, I have never known of a place called Uturu. Where is Uturu on the map of Nigeria? I did not know. Abia State, I did not even know. So I'm like, where this is UNN I'm supposed to go to. Why are you now taking me to Abia State? But there was a prayer I was praying at that time. So that's how my father just came. He didn't even come, he didn't meet me to negotiate. He just came to tell me he had gotten everything, admission, and just told me the next day you're going there, go there. And that was how I left. And I went to Turun. So when I got to Abia State University, that was where this journey started. And surprising, that is where I met my husband. That was the university my husband was in. So as far as I'm concerned, I just believe that God took me to Abia State University just to meet him. So I did my year 1, I did my year 2, and by my year 3, it was my year 3. Remember, I had been praying concerning marriage at the age of 15. I entered university at 15. So that's 15 going to 16. So I've been praying concerning marriage. Now, while I was in university, there was this other friend there, a brother in my fellowship. And he said, oh, while you're praying, why don't you just tell God, when the man speaks to you, you want to know, be convinced as the man is speaking to you. That became another prayer point. So I'll tell God, when this man starts to talk to me or tells me his intention, I want to know. Now, the difference between me and other young girls at the time was that I did not want to do boyfriend. I did not want to date. I was not interested in just being in a relationship. I told God, there was a prayer I used to tell God. I told God, God, my heart is too fragile. I don't want any man to break my heart. Then I'll put it together. Then they break it again, and I put it together. I don't want heartbreak. So whoever the man is, when he comes, I want to know, so that it's only one man that I will give this heart to. I cannot deal with heartbreak. So that was the prayer I said. So when guys will come, guys that will come, young, teenagers come and do all their talk, I was not moved, because as far as I was concerned, I said, this one is play. I want the real deal. And I was that kind of young girl that liked to say, when people come and they are being very nice to you as a brother, because I was in church, so brother is being nice. I always would say, I would say, please define your relationship. I was always straight up, define this relationship, because you're being so nice, giving me gifts, always around me, helping me out. Define this relationship. Let's know where it's going to. Because it's one thing to, it still happens till today. You see guys, they call you all sweet names, and yet they don't have any intention. The person they want to marry is somewhere else. They just be wasting your time, wasting your destiny. So I wasn't caught up for all of that. So I'll tell you, define the relationship. And once they define the relationship, if they say it is unto I'm like, I'm not interested, because I had always told God I want to be convinced. So I continued this journey, and by my 3rd year, Pastor Jerry, before he met me, how will I forget? 15th November 2002. I don't forget that day. 15th November 2002. I always used to attend all the, you see, any program they do in fellowship that has to do with a relationship, I will always be there. I will be listening. God bless the late Pastor Bimbo Dukoya. Those days, I will listen. This one, all the do's and this to look for and not. I liked relationship books. I liked such programs. Then there's this woman in Kaduna. I think her name is Pastor Ada. I can't remember her surname now. They invited her. The fellowship invited her to my school then, and that day she came and she was talking about how she met her husband, and she was talking and said something that struck me. She said, at times when you're looking for that person, there might be something that you really want in the man that may not be there, but that doesn't mean he's not the one. she painted the picture of her house was that there was this one thing she wanted, she didn't have. And for some strange reason, the thing just struck a chord with me that there's something you're looking for. You see this one, and I knew what that one is, as in my heart. Let me be open. I think we're being very frank here. We're being very honest.
I know.
So let me be very. So in my list now, like you say, you have list for who to marry. I didn't really have a list. I didn't have a list like my friends had, like, all the boxes to tick. But what I had on my list was, he must love God. He must be God-fearing. At this time in my life now, I liked seeing pastors. When pastors are preaching, I'll just be looking, I'm like, it will just be, I'm like, God, I don't know. All of a sudden, I start getting excited about pastors. And I'm like, hey, but I should tell God, I want him to preach, but I don't want full-time. I don't want full-time, because if it's full-time, there's no money. I don't want to be poor. That was the way I saw full-time ministry. Like, if he's in full-time, we won't have money. So God, let him be doing ministry, let him go around there, but let him not be full-time. So at times, even to some extent, I can remember in fellowship, I had seen one man they invited, and I was looking at his finger to see this ring, if it's whether that one is if that one is my own, so
Jerry, where are you?
So I got very interested in ministry, someone doing ministry, but I didn't know what job. So when my friends asked me, what will he do now since it's part-time, I don't know, he can do any job, but that was what I knew, and that he should just love God. That was all I had on my list. So when she said, the only other thing that is container wise, you have content, you have container. Now the only thing I had for container, like how people have tall, dark, and handsome, I wanted a tall man. So when this woman said what she said, something just struck in my spirit. You see this tall thing, it may not happen like this. So my heart just, I just threw it to one corner. Then she now said, so for your marriage. Some of you, the man already knows, but he is finding it difficult to meet you. Call him forth. So we started a prayer of calling him forth in that meeting. See me praying. Hey, mommy, I pray. I call you forth from the north, from the south, from the east, from the west, wherever you are. I was calling my husband forth. I did not know that he was in the same university with me. I was not even thinking where the person is coming from. I was just calling forth. I called him forth. I sold my last money, university. The only money I had remaining, I put it as my seed that evening. Then by the next morning, 16th November 2002, I woke up that morning, and for some strange reason, I just told God that morning, okay, I saw my friends, me and my friends, we started, like how girls would gist, we'll sit down, we'll gist. They called me to come and eat in their room, so I went to eat. We started gisting, remember what she said, remember, the type of things we do, just going through all the woman has said, and my heart started beating again concerning that one thing that I wanted. My heart just started beating, I started getting uncomfortable, and I told them, okay, I want to go and rest, because I was a Sunday school teacher at this time, so in our church. So I went to my hostel to rest, and while I went to rest, I told God, wherever this man is, I want to see him today. I don't even know how I made that prayer. I said, I want to see him today. Not even minding. I wasn't thinking that the person was even within, as in like a student. But how, the Spirit of God in you just say things, and you just know this is just the Spirit of God that's at work in you. So that was what I just said. And I slept, woke up, went for Sunday school, finished Sunday school. By this time, my husband was the pastor of All Saints Chapel of Redemption. He was the pastor of the church, the university's church. He was the pastor. So, and he usually will come in once in a while when we're doing Sunday school, he has always known the Bible. He has always been a teacher of the word. So he will just come to give us some, inputs here and there and guide us. So that day he came, listened to what we were saying, added, and as I was about going, he said, oh, you know what, that he wants to do something in my hostel. He used to stay off campus. Off campus where people we consider that had money were the ones staying off campus. But remember, I told you, like my dad will not give you money. So you will struggle, you will just manage. So So he said he wanted to do something in my own hostel. My own hostel was the main hostel at the time, Abiola hostel. So he had both the males and females in that hostel. So he wanted to do something in the male side. So we went together and he asked me, he said, so how was the program? Because it was my church, my fellowship that organized that program, the relationship program the previous day. Oh, how was the program? And I was talking, telling him everything this woman said. He now asked me a question. So what will you expect? The man that wants to marry, how do you want him to talk to you? What will you want him to say? And I started talking. Oh, this is what he would say. This is how he would say. I had no idea that this was a setup. As in, I was just talking. By the time I finished talking, he now looks at me and he now tells me, well, this morning, I woke up this morning and that God told him that he must tell me. Now, see the thing. He knew God told him about me. This was in November. In July, I think that was in July, he came to my fellowship for the program. And while they were introducing those of us in leadership, in the women leadership, they introduced me. That was what he was now telling me later. And when they called my name, Enebong, because that was my maiden name, Enebong, that he said, as soon as I stood, God told him, this is your wife. And he now said, Tofiakwa, as in he did, like God forbid now, because of the name Calabar, what is it? So he knew months ago about me. And he never told me anything. And he had been seeing me, but I wasn't even friends with him as such. So he told me, but for some strange reason, that morning, remember, I have called forth my husband the previous day from the north, south, east, and told God I want to see him on that day. This how he just appeared. So my own story is just so, divinely orchestrated. Just see the hand of God. So this was how he just told me, oh, he did not propose. He did not do. He just told me God told him. God told him that I am that he should come and tell me. He now told me, but he's not putting pressure on me. I should go and pray and hear from God for myself. And all I was just hearing when he was talking to me, he is short. He's not tall. That's all that was just ringing in my head. And I started to cry. I was just crying. I left him. I cried and cried. I couldn't pray. I was crying and crying. That was all I could see. I could think of the height. I kept crying. Until one day, I just told myself, you know what? Oh yeah, pray. Go and pray. So we had somewhere we called the bush that people used to go and pray. Say bush, but people go there, quiet, solitary place. So I went in there and I prayed. The day I went to pray, imagine, mommy, I went to pray and my plan was go and ask God questions. But I just entered there and the next thing I heard myself saying was, okay, God, if this is your will, then that's fine. That was what I heard myself say. And immediately, I have only had this experience maybe 2 or 3 times in my life till today, whereby you feel like something literally lifts from your chest and drops. I've not had the experience. Just about 2 times in my life that thing has happened to me. And that was the first time it ever happened to me. Something just lifted from my heart and dropped. And I felt peace. I felt so at peace. By this time, mommy, there was this brother I was liking in school that I liked, and I was wishing he would propose to me, that he never proposed. So at this time, I now say, God, but if it is Pastor Jerry, then this brother that I've been liking, uncle, make me know that he's not the one. That day we had fellowship. We went for fellowship. We finished fellowship. This brother meets me. As usual, let's go and eat like we will normally go and do with other people. That day we went to everything he was saying. I was irritated. The way he would talk, I'm like, how he's sounding. While he was eating, the way he was eating, I said, he eats. I can't live with this type of man. But this is somebody I have done this thing with over and over, and it's as if something like a scale just left my eye and I started seeing him differently. And that was how I just knew, you know what, that's it. So we started our journey. 5 years. We went out for 5 years before we now finally got married. And that's how it
Ooh, this is amazing. You need to read the reactions, the responses, the comments. Oh, thank you for being so vulnerable. We've been so blessed. So blessed. There was a time I met you. Both of us were speakers in Abuja.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Reverend Samui. And then you shared a story. I remember you said you wrote a book actually,
Yes.
and you said how I almost ruined my marriage. You want to share a few things with us about that?
Okay. All right. So, mommy, now coming to my book, yes, I remember that time, and that was, I think that was 2017. I wrote that book in 2017. Okay, so I told you of how I was praying for a peaceful home, and I wanted a peaceful marriage, but unfortunately, I didn't know that I wanted peace, but I was not a woman of peace. It was something I wanted, but I didn't have peace because of remember my upbringing. So because the environment I grew up in, I didn't know that it had played a role, or it had impacted my life negatively. Because wherever I went to growing up, people liked me. I've always been someone that, I know how to smile. I've always had a beautiful smile, but I had anger issues. I used to be very angry. So I was hot-tempered, and I got it from my parents actually. So surprisingly, it's not even just me. All of us, my siblings, we all got it, and it shows in different ways, and to different, extents or, extremities. So it was when I met Pastor Jerry that, because I prayed for a peaceful man and a peaceful marriage, God gave me a peaceful man, as in a peaceful man, a man that came from an environment that they don't used to quarrel, they don't used to raise their voice. So God gave me what I wanted, but I wasn't fit for what I wanted. As it's like you're asking for something and you don't get ready for what it is you want, or you don't ask the question, this person you have prayed out, what would this person be praying for? Because you need to meet that person's own needs as well. And that's the mistake a lot of us make. We pray for things, we ask for things, especially when it has to do relationship, marriage, but we don't even ask, okay, so if I want dark, tall and handsome, so what would dark, tall and handsome want in a woman, or what would this person want in a man? So I didn't do that. I didn't know that, so, and sincerely, I didn't know that from the place of innocence, and that's something that a lot of people now are getting to know. We are telling people now, don't just ask and just build that picture. You become what that person wants, So I started this journey with him, and he was the one that started pointing out things about me that was not working. I was very disrespectful. I was, like I told you, I was an angry person. I was disrespectful. I was a bitter person. Bitter as in bitter. I didn't even know I was bitter. He's the one that made me even know I was a bitter person. So, things can happen. I don't talk about it, but it's as if it's locked up somewhere inside of me. And, bitterness, I usually will say, even in my book, I say bitterness is the elder brother of anger. It's the elder brother to anger, because it starts with anger, then it graduates to bitterness. So if you don't deal with anger, it will graduate eventually to bitterness. So that was just where I was, that space, and I was very opinionated. Once I make my stand on this, you can't move me. There's nothing to tell me that will move me from that point. Whatever I say, that's where I stand. I was highly independent, very independent. I told you earlier that, like my dad, because he wasn't into giving me money, I would need things. I would write a list of the things I need for school. And my father can never give you the exact money you want. He always reduce your money. I don't know why. Instead of if you say you want, he will reduce it. And I was that girl that I did not do boyfriend. I did not do man friend. I did not have any other place as a source of getting money. So it's only the one my parents will give me. I never used to call aunties and uncles. So if it's what you give me, that's all I have. And yet you will not even give me one. And because I loved God, I will not, maybe, like what people will do, maybe increase the list. My mom even advised me at some point, your father will not give you exact. Add, so that when he reduces it, it will now be what you need. But I couldn't even do that. I couldn't do that. So I used to be so upset. So I learned how to start doing things very early. I would sell earrings, sell jewelries. I liked jewelry, so I would sell jewelries. I sold too many things, growing up. Even though, yes, you think my parents could do all of that, but I sold too many things. By the time I finished university, I went and learned how to make hats. I used to make hats and sell. I used to make beads and sell. By the time I was 7, I was selling crayfish. I said the local jar. Since my parents were from Cross River. Now my mom would get from Cross River. Then she was still lecturing in UNN. She would carry from Calabar, take to UNN. I would come from Lokoja to Nsukka, pick up my crayfish, go and sell in the ministry, be doing my bead making. So I had always been that independent kind of person, and I carried it into my relationship and into my marriage. So it also started having that negative effect because I was independent. I end up doing things without even talking about it, because I can do it. So I just go and do things and I don't talk about it. And that kind of self-sufficient kind of person. So, but the one that really got my marriage, shaky was this anger, because my husband was very peaceful. So even the 5 years we went out was quite rocky and it was turbulent, but because he knows what he heard from God, so that's what was keeping him. I knew what I heard from God, so that was keeping me. But like he will always say that even though, yes, I did these things, I had a teachable spirit. I wanted to change. It's just that you want to be a better person, but you don't know how to be a better person. So even when you think you're trying, you finish praying and telling God help me, but the next minute you can't even help yourself. You lose control of yourself, and it's only when you have finished doing whatever it is you have finished doing that you just realize, oh my God, see what I've done. So by the time we got married, and see the way my marriage was, which is, maybe we may get to it if there's time, maybe if, like you say, if we have the time. So now I married a man that was already into ministry. My husband today, anything you are seeing today is not something I started today. I have known him for the past 20 years. And in these 20 years, he's always been driven like this. As in, he has always been so passionate about God's people that he would sacrifice everything and anything for God's people. So imagine me getting married with all the books I have read about romance and romantic, so thinking that it is all bed of roses and whatever. I now enter marriage. We got married. Do you know that the next day he had a ministration? The next day we got married. Saturday, Sunday, we did not do honeymoon. Which honeymoon? Which honey? Which moon? There was no moon to go to the honey, or the honey to meet the moon. The next day, so see the shock. The next day we had administration, and it was with core members. This program he was doing then called Blind Facts. So he will go, like to core members or whichever crowd, and it was usually on real life things, as in what people have gone through, real life experiences. People will tell you things they have done that are bad and how God has helped them. So you learn from the experiences. So that's what we went to do that day. After we finished doing that, we came back. That week he had a program in because he was working at this time in I think he was working with, was it UNN? United Nations, UN at the time. I think it was UN. Yes, he was working with United Nations at the time. So he had a program in Abuja. So he said, okay, follow me, let's go to Abuja. So at least, because I wasn't doing anything at the time. So I followed him. I had just finished 7. I followed him. And that day, he left me the hotel from morning till night. He did not call me. He did not ask if I would eat food. What? Nothing. He just abandoned me. Then imagine the woman in me. Oh Jesus, the woman in me. I sat down in that hotel and I was fuming, boiling. I had a whole day to boil. So I boiled. Nobody to talk to, just boiling, waiting for him to come back. So you can imagine an angry person as I did what I gave him that day. Oh God. As he entered, I don't even know if I greeted him that day. As he entered, from my face, you already know that there's trouble. Fire on the mountain. And I started. The thing is that angry people, most times we don't remember what we say. We finish doing it. Our memory is short. We have short memory. Angry people have short memory. It is the people that you hurt that will tell you what you have done. You won't remember what you have done. So if I tell you that I can remember what I did that day, I cannot remember. He's the one that used to remind me. So I went on, I talked and trying to, he'll be the one trying. See the way my husband looks calm. Even now, he's even high. If you saw him in those early days, very quiet. So, and me, I was the Ajabra one, the one that was everywhere. So he'll be trying to calm me. I refuse to be calm. And I tell you, Mama, my husband used to cry because of me. He would start, as in that day, he was just crying. He couldn't do any other thing. It was when he started crying, I now discovered, hey, what have I said? Which one did I now say? Because in my mind, I have not even said anything yet. Remember, I came from a place where they used to box. So we are not boxing. The only time there's a problem is when
Jerry watching. Pastor J.
The only time there's a problem is when, so when he's telling you, I'm like, okay, because voices are going up. He doesn't like raised voice. So but me, raising voice we are just starting. It's only when you start sitting that you know that you have, but just talking and shouting is okay. It's normal, because I didn't see my parents talk quietly. It's everybody is, so it's only when he starts crying that I just discover, oh, okay, I have done the one I'm not supposed to do. I started begging him. But you see, the problem with these things that I used to get him to that extreme, and to get him out was always difficult. So, and there's something he used to tell me then. He used to tell me, I'm not a light bulb that you switch on and switch off at will. So, and my emotions was everywhere. And my emotions were everywhere. And if any, and this is something that people should even hear, because everyone must learn how to control their emotions. My emotions controlled me, and that's why in my book I talked about managing your emotions. You must be in control of your emotions and not the other way around. So my emotions used to control me. So it's as if anything my emotion tells me to do, I'll do. And our emotions tells us a lot of lies. Our emotions are not truthful. It tells us a lot of lies. So you can't even trust. I have learned not to trust my emotions, because my emotions are feelings. They are feelings. So I've learned not to trust my feelings. Most times feelings they don't tell you the truth, So that was one thing that, put so much strain in our marriage. And I know he has told me times that I have even broken plates. I can't even remember breaking plates. And that's why I say angry people don't even remember what they do. Do you know that there was a time he came to see me in London, because we got married in 2007, March 2007, and I left the country by June 2007 to go and do my master's. So, and I was away from 2007 till 2011. That's when I came back to Nigeria. So this period, it's either I'm coming back or he's the one coming over to see me. And like the stories he would tell, he told stories of times that, he'll want to pray with me, like we'll be praying. And after maybe we'll finish praying, I will tell him, Mommy, if I tell you this one, you'll be embarrassed for me. He said, as we finish, me and him will finish prayer, and I tell him that after saying him, I tell you, see, next time, make the prayer shorter. It was too long. Can you imagine? How? Me that is praying the way I'm praying.
I know, I love you. I love you too much, Reverend Jerry.
So he said, you can imagine the shock after thinking you finish having a heartfelt prayer with your wife. Your wife now said, the next time make it short. It was too long. Oh God, I stressed him. I will bang the door at him. He'll be talking to me. If I can't take it again, I will stand up. I'll close I'll just and walk out on him. Oh, I did some terrible things. I did some terrible things that at some point I just discovered I was losing my husband. And one of the ways I knew I was losing my husband was like, there's this light that will always come to his eyes whenever he used to see me. Then I just noticed that he just left, whether you're there or not. Then it wasn't important anymore to him. So, and you know, the beautiful thing about my husband was that he never told anybody these things that was happening. It was just between two of us. But if there's anything he kept doing, is that he kept talking to me when I could listen. Because most times, remember, I was very self-opinionated, so it's difficult to talk to a self-opinionated person. So he would try to talk to me to make me understand the things that I'm doing that are not right, getting me to understand. Those years were really trying on our marriage. But my major turning point was when my relationship with God really got, stronger and more serious. That was when, like the Holy Spirit begins to show you and make you understand the things you're doing and how it's impacting negatively on your marriage. Yes.
My God. I felt like crying. I felt like laughing at some points. Wow. Thank you for sharing this. This is pure gold. And look at it now. You stand to pray for hours.
Yes. Who could have imagined? Mommy, who could have imagined? It's
Pastor Jerry again and again.
Yes.
And thank you, Eno. You have no idea what people are writing. Oh my God. My tummy. I'm almost speechless. Where can we get your book? You need to let the people know. That book.
enojerry.com. I have my website, enojerry.com, and it's also on Amazon. Actually, it's on Amazon for those abroad. It's on Amazon
again.
The title is I Almost Ruined My Marriage. This is what it looks like. I almost ruined my marriage, my true life story. Enojerry. I almost ruined my marriage, my true life story. enojerry.com or on Amazon.
And please follow her on Instagram, on all her social media platforms. Enojerry02.
Enojerry 22.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I just didn't want you to end. Okay. Thank you for being so real. What does it feel like to be married to this kind of a popular global man? You are a leader that is married to a leader, but now this is on another level entirely. CNN featured, NS.
Yes. PPD.
So, what does it feel?
I think for me, sincerely, it's I see it as a privilege and an honor to be married to Pastor Jerry, because I am not I don't know how to put it, but I have always considered it as a privilege. Whenever I think of what is going on right now, it always takes me, back to how I grew up. And Mom, if you knew me, my story, I was the least likely person that you would put in a place like this. As in, yes, I know that I've always loved God, but my parents are very intelligent. They're professors. My parents are very smart, but I usually would say I didn't take their brains, as in like academically, that kind of smartness academically. I had times where it was as if I was in the in the back, as in I was telling them the other day. I remember in secondary school, especially in JS3, I remember there was this class they put me in where there were very smart people in the class. Now, if we were 56 in that class, I used to score like, I'll come 53rd position, as in 53rd, 54th, as in that's, I was back, and even to university, yes, I know, yes, maybe you say I could do it, but even people didn't even give me the chance. People didn't even believe in me. People didn't give me the chance. In university, I loved God so much. I really loved God. I don't think I've said this out anywhere before. But I loved God so much. I wanted to work for God. Oh, I really wanted to work for God. You know how you have schools, executives. I wanted to serve in a leadership position, not because of anything, but just that was like one way you could do service. People never gave me the chance. They did. I didn't look like that kind of person, maybe because of the fellowship I was attending. I won't call the name of the fellowship, but this fellowship, maybe you tie your hair and all of that. But when I entered university, I came with my trousers and my makeup, and I told God that I wanted a fellowship that I could attend. That was the first thing I asked for as soon as I entered university. And I told you I had strategic people that God brought into my life, and at that point when I was entering university, there was this person, and he told me, read Daniel 1 verse 8 and let that guide you as you're entering university. And that's where Daniel proposed in his heart that he will not eat of the king's meat. So that used to be my prayer, and I told God, as I enter university, I will not do anything that you don't like. So as soon as I entered, I started looking for a fellowship to belong to, and I found this fellowship. The way I found, because of time, I can't go into details how I found, but I knew it was God that planted me there. But that fellowship had what they call their standards. So part of their standards was don't wear trousers, don't use makeup. I stopped wearing trousers. I stopped doing makeup because I wanted to be there. I gave that up. I called my mom, my aunties that used to send me trousers. I said, Mommy, tell them, they should not send me any trousers again. They should only send me skirt and dress. That is all I'm wearing now, And I stayed there the 4 years. I wanted to serve. You know what used to happen? They will normally put it out for people to vote. The church fellowship will vote. Then they will now take it out. Mama, no matter how many times they will vote, they will tell me that my name, people voted me as part of. But when it gets to the executive level, where you go for interview, they always remove my name. They will always remove my name. And the question then will always be about, I am probably maybe the church I came from. So this way, people never gave me the chance. I didn't look like a pastor's wife. I didn't look like a mama. I don't know how mamas used to look, but there was a way, you just know the people that will come into school, they say, oh, looks like mama. And even when I did youth service, I didn't look like a mama. I didn't have the criteria, the qualification, nothing. So when I find myself here, I just tell myself that it can only just be God that just put me here, because if it's based on who should have been, it shouldn't have been me. It really shouldn't have been me. But I don't know what God saw in me. I don't know what it is he found in me. I still don't understand. Yes, he's high up there, but the truth is that I think even me and Papa, my husband, Pastor Jerry, I don't even think we have ever even seen it as being high up there. I don't even think we even know what is going on right now. I think everything is just happening too fast that I don't think I even know what's even going on. I just still think that I don't know. I really don't know what is going on, but I still know that we are still the same persons that we have always been, and just wanting to just serve God, just wanting to just do more for God. God, as long as all I have, my prayer has always been is just, God, I'm available. I don't have intelligence, I don't have qualification, I don't have anything. All I have is just this vessel. If you can find anything as you're looking for whoever to use, just an empty vessel, just use me. That's just how I have always been. And in whatever capacity, Mom, I don't know if I'm answering the question actually, but I don't know.
Of course,
I don't know if I'm answering.
If there's one human being that will understand what you just said, it is me. It is me. I understand. Thank you enough. Thank you for making me laugh, and thank you for making me cry tonight. It's God. You alone is God.
Yes,
he raises us, the poor. It's fine. We give him all the glory.
Yes, we do.
Jesus, I can't believe it's almost 1 hour. But no matter how short, enough.
Wow.
You are a blessing. You are a blessing. The Lord shall preserve you and Jerry.
Amen.
Jesus, and your children.
Amen.
Thank you. Being available vessels and for being yielded vessels. You know, people call him Pastor Jerry. Me, I call him Reverend. He knows.
Yes.
I'm his personal person. I call him Reverend Jerry. And I know why I call him Reverend Jerry. I revere God in his life. What's your view about a woman being empowered? Should a woman be empowered? Should a woman have something that she can fall back on, that she can call her own? And then, what's your view about domestic violence as we wrap it up tonight?
Okay. I believe that women should be empowered. Well, if there's anything I know is that my father had always given my mother the opportunity to spread her wings and fly. And despite whether I tell you that they used to fight themselves, he has always allowed her to be. My mother grew in career, even to date. If you call her now, maybe she tells she's in South Africa, she's in this place. You know, he is retired, he's at home. He allows her to do and be everything that she wants to be. I watched my mother become, and I married a man that has, you know, he started, his calling has always been about women. If you look around him, you see that the women around him have all been empowered, not even just me, any woman around him. He has always given them the opportunity to be. Do you know that I told you that I did 2 masters in university? It is Pastor Jerry that sponsored my 2 masters in the university. He's the one that sponsored them. When I got my admission, I was serving. I was still serving. That was 2004, 2005. I was doing my youth service. When I told him that I wanted to go and do, it wasn't like me and him discuss. I just told him, CEO, I want to go and do my masters. I've seen an MBA I want to do. He encouraged me. We were not married then. He encouraged me. Then when I told my father told me he's not going to help me. That, you know, my father is in the academic area. He felt like I read English. If I want to do a master's, it should be in English because you must build in that direction. So he was not even interested in me. I'm saying I read English and I want to go and do MBA entrepreneurial management. How do they adopt? But one day before we got married, one early morning around 4-5 a.m. in the morning, Pastor Jerry called me in the morning. He told me, you see that masters, you will go and do it. I will pay for it. At this time, Mama, how old was Pastor Jerry at this time that he was telling me he will pay for it? We were not yet married. So he should have been around 23 years old when he told me he will pay for my masters. When he told me he's going to pay for it. And true to his word, I don't know how, I've never even asked him how he was able to put that kind of money, this abroad, London, put that money together, because I never even asked him how he did it. He's the one that went out, as soon as we got married, he got my passport, went out. That was the first thing he did. As soon as we got married, he did the newspaper, whatever, got my passport for me, did everything, paid my tuition fee, everything. I went there. While I was doing that master's and that MBA, and I now said I wanted to do international human resources, when I called him, I told him, you know that thing I've been looking for, that my passion, that now I have found it is this. He said, is that what you want to do? You will do it. He sent me money again, my school fees, he paid everything in full. So I don't know, I'm sure he must have borrowed money. Till today, God be my witness, I never asked him, how did you even do what you did? Because it just looked, you know, and how old were we at this time? In our 20s, barely trying to. So I have stayed with a man that has, I told you that for 5 years or so I was in London. He allowed me. He was in Umuahia, and maybe because of how Umuahia was, probably not wanting to, you know, maybe squeeze and prevent me from being everything I am supposed to be. So he encouraged me, he allowed me. I finished my master's, I got a job in human resources. Even these things to give him joy, you know. I think his joy is, you know, the joy was like he'll be talking about his wife. My wife is doing this. It's a joy for him. So I did that. When I came back to Nigeria, I came in with my baby. What even brought me to Nigeria was my maternity leave, because in the UK they give you like 1 year maternity, 9 months paid, and the remaining 3 months unpaid leave. So I said, okay, let me come to Nigeria and do my maternity since I have 1 year. But there was a job he helped me to even get. There was a job, oil and gas. He was the one that spoke to the people. He had a friend there. He spoke to them and they sent it to me. And that was how in London I started, in the interview. I flew in from London straight to Lagos, did the interview, got the job. He left me in Lagos. He was in Umaya. He had started doing ministry there. But I would just come in, and go, and I started working in oil and gas. When I did that job like 2 years, I was the one that said I wanted to come home nearer. I got a job with flour mills, and that was in Calabar. And I felt, Calabar is nearer home. And I now came to Calabar, so it was easier to come down to Umahia every weekend. And I did that for another 1.5 years before I fully came back to Umahia in 2015. And even in that 2015, he insisted I must have a job before I come back. Even when we got married, that was part of the criteria for our marriage. He said you must have work. He used to tell me, if you don't work, you'll be tired, you'll be frustrated in the house. You will give me trouble, Seth, if you don't have a job. So we were looking for a job before I got married to him. And for every stage, he ensured that I had something to do. Anything you want to do. Just make sure that you are busy. So I really believe that women should be empowered. There's so much in us. There's so much that we have to offer, to the world. And we are seeing women do great and mighty things. And thank God for the men that are encouraging women to be all that they can be. And thank God for my husband that has helped me and given me wings to fly and still wants me to fly as high as possible. Then concerning domestic violence, it has never been okay. Like I told you, I grew up in a family, so I saw it play out, mother and father fighting, and surprisingly my parents are still together. They are together, and they celebrated their 43rd, is it 43 or 44th wedding anniversary last month, but they don't fight again.
Of course, they don't fight again. So they were fighting. So I saw all of that play out, and it can either be from either party, sincerely, Mama, but let me just be honest, sincerely, I thank God for my husband. Some of the things I did were things that if he did not have this thing, he would have slapped me. A slap wouldn't have gone out of place, because sincerely, you don't know my madness, the madness I entered that marriage with. But my husband, he's a sweet man. Never for once did he even feel like, never for once did he even do like this. Never. Even with all my I will bang up. And he will not even leave the house and say he's even walking out of God. He used to tell people that God used me to teach him patience. That God used me to just teach him patience. So I think the best he used to do then was just, because me, I think I abused him. I abused him, but not physical, but no. I didn't. Well, in all my madness, I never use bad words, as in, like get out, idiot, foul. No. I never. Yes, never. So I think whichever way, whether it is the man or it is the woman, anybody that is in that place should seek for help. Talk to the right people, counselors. It's not everybody that is the right person to talk to, but right now, I think with all that has been happening around us, a lot of people have come out, and people that you can talk to, so that people can get help. So I don't believe that you should stay in it and die. You should get help. If you need help, get help. I know that there are some that can be solved. There are problems that can be solved, and there are some that cannot be solved. So, but when you seek counsel, you will know what works, and with God's help, So, what a night! What a night! There are still good husbands, and let me shock you. I graduated from UNN.
Oh wow, UNN!
My husband, I met him when I had just school start. It was my husband that taught me mathematics, that tutored me so I could pass. And then he took me for exam for me to gain admission. You will not believe it.
Wow.
We have good men.
We still have good men.
Sponsored the education. Look at it. Sometimes when we are honoring our husbands, people don't know
yes,
what.
they don't know what yes.
We still have good men. We have good
We still
men.
have good
men
men.
that
We
are
still have good men.
secure enough to let
Yes.
their wife shine.
Shine. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Very true.
What a blessing both of you are to our world. Reverend Jerry and Pastor Mrs. Eno Jerry Eze. We love you. See love everywhere. People are just bombarding you, blessing your husband, blessing you, loving on you. Thank you for opening up tonight.
Thank you, ma. Thank you for having me tonight.
On a final note, tell us, who are your mentors? These are the things we learn from. Because it's talking about strategic people, God placing people.
Well, the people God has placed in my life, sincerely, like the ones I spoke about, were just people that were around me at the time and just had that. It's as if God just sent men. Those ones were not necessarily mentors, but just sent men. When you need them, they just show up. And I think at that time in my life, from my primary, secondary into university, God always had, placed such people. But when I met my husband, one sure thing I know God did for me was my husband. Remember what I told you? I told God as a child that if I'm going out of line, he should beat me back. Mama, one of the biggest mistakes I would have ever made in this my life was after I finished university. But by then I had met Pastor Jerry. And if you see the way, it was phone call, the way he used and the shout he shouted on me, sense entered my head. But I just aligned again into my, into that same line. I usually say that I call it line. I like to call it line. That's the way I used to tell God. I said there's a road that I'm supposed to walk on this earth. Any day I'm deviating from that road, push me back, beat me back, do anything you need to do to align me, do. So if there's one person God brought into my life to ensure that I make it to heaven, is my husband. Because from that every time in my life, he has always been that one person that even if I don't tell someone, God will tell him. And he just say, yeah, you're making a mistake now. If you do this thing, it's going to end up like this. No. And he has always been there to beat me to shape. Everything I know today, he's the one that has taught me. He has been my teacher, he has been my coach, he has been my mentor, he has been everything. Sincerely, my husband. Even the book that I wrote, and I am telling people how to come out of whether anger or disrespect, it is things that he taught me. He's the one that taught them emotions. He taught me, and it was as he was teaching me, the ones as I'm learning now, I can now teach others. So he has been that number one person there that has always been there to guide me. Then I always have people that people that I look up to. Mommy, I look up to you a lot. I look up to you. I know that you're one sure person that I have always loved from my heart. I've always loved, and definitely you have gone ahead and you're just pathing and showing us the way it should be, and we're all taking turns from that. So that's it.
Thank you so very much once again. We love you. I'm going to bring you back. Just know that I'm going to bring you back.
There was so much to say that I couldn't say. Really, I wish I could say, but no time. No time.
Oh, you're coming back. We're going to have part 2. Part 2.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
That my husband is the person I listen to most in my life. His messages.
Yes,
I do. But that's my own man of God.
Yes, he is.
Wonder. So we are normal.
We are normal. Yes, ma'am.
There are still good men. And I'm giving you.
I love you more. I love you too. Oh, Mommy, such an honor to be here. Thank you, ma. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share. Thank you, Mommy. I love you, ma. And I love everyone online. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for pampering me when I came to preach for you. I can never forget that one. The Lord bless. Yes, people are telling me to bring you back. Don't worry, I'll bring her back. Part 2. Please give our greetings of honor to Reverend Jerry, our global citizen.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you for
I
standing
will.
beside him. Thank you for the sacrifices. And thank your children
Yes,
also
ma'am.
for sharing you with us. I love
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Please have a
Love you
fantastic
too.
night.
You too. Love you, ma. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Please go on her website, follow her.